So if I can call everyone to the meeting, please. I make it 19:15 on my mobile, so I think it's a minute slow at the actual clock. With it being the annual meeting, we've got to elect a chair in order for us to continue with procedures. So I'll start with item 1, which is to elect a chair for the forthcoming year, 2025-26. Are there any nominations?
I propose Andy Sherritt.
Andy Sherritt. One proposer. Can I get a seconder for Andy then, please? Susie, seconding.
I propose Martin Roberts.
Yeah, thank you. Seconder. Caroline, seconding. Are there any other nominations? Okay, I'll take it as those two. So, those in favour of Andy Sherritt, if you'd like to raise your hands. We've got 4 for Andy, and then votes for myself in favour. So we've got 4 against. As the current chair, I realise I'm not, but as the sort of like the chair from previous, I get the casting vote on that, so I'm going to vote for myself on that one. So that makes it 5-4. That's just how the rules are with meetings.
Acceptance of office.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you. So we'll go to the public session then. I realise there's quite a lot of people here, so the public session is meant to go on, we only allocate like 15 minutes worth of time, so I will ask, because we've got so many people and no doubt there's quite a lot of issues that people wish to raise, if people can be brief, and I'll try and get around everyone as quickly as I can. We may ask for details to be taken down so we can give responses via email, so like everyone's issue can be addressed. But without further ado, can I just have a show of hands of those that wish to speak? So I've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've got 4 people in total. Can I start with? I'm going to start with someone who's not been to the meeting before, so to give them a chance. So I'll start with. Yeah.
Should I stay seated or do you want to stand?
It's up to you. You can stand up.
Just to keep everybody aware, my name, sorry, I'm just talking to your back. I'm Martin Stern and a resident of Gloucester Grove and the resident adjunct from the area. Some of you, I'm sure, will be aware that there is planning permission, and I know it's on tonight's agenda, so I'll try to skirt around some of the issues. There's a planning application for what is erroneously called land off Rosslyn Grove. Now, I think the whole planning application is built on an incorrect premise that it's off Rosslyn Grove, and as such, the rest of it, I feel, is invalid. The land in question, which you can almost see from here, is an area of land which currently has a dwelling, which is, the address is New Street. I'm aware that New Street is unmade and unadopted, and as such there seems to have been a decision made somewhere, goodness knows where, that the access to the planned development on the land that is erroneously, in my view, classed as off Rosslyn Grove, should be through Rosslyn Grove. Now, I have lived in Ackworth since 1996, so I'm almost welcome, I guess. But prior to moving there, I'd never been down there, and I know that some people are unaware of it almost, but it is a quiet area of mainly bungalows, mainly of people Well, I think most won't mind saying more mature. And they moved there because it's a nice area. And to have that opened up for that development, I feel will be detrimental to everybody bar maybe one person on the estate. That's another matter. One of the things that concerns me in particular is that according to the Highways Access document that was that's on the planning, there's no mention of access from, or to maintain the current access from New Street. All the investigations seem to have been carried out assuming that Rosslyn Grove is going to be the access. And I would actually argue against that. New Street, the area has been cleared quite extensively over the past few months. That the noise from the trees which have been shredded and so on has been going on, and all the equipment for that has come in down New Street. Nothing through Rosslyn Grove. To get through Rosslyn Grove will mean that some trees will have to be felled. The road outside our particular wife, the road outside our particular house is just 3.75 metres wide. The road surface was only put, sorry, centimetres, not centimetres.
Yeah.
That's quite wide.
Yeah.
Sorry, 3.75 metres anyway. No, 3.75 metres, 300 anyway, we'll argue later. And the actual road surface was only put down for the 4 bungalows which are on that particular area. Yeah, I mean there are potential flooding issues down there, there's a soak away and all sorts of things. But I don't feel that, or I know a lot of people don't feel that's an appropriate access and exit point for there. 9 family homes, 4 bedroom, 7 4-bedroom, 2 3-bedroom, I think will be at least 14 additional cars accessing onto Wakefield Road. If the access was from New Street, I accept it's on Bell Lane where there's a school. However, cars could turn right if they were going towards Pontefract. They could turn left to either go around Flounders Hill and access further down, or indeed turn left and come along and access on Howard Acres. It's just extremely difficult and concerning for all of us, or the majority of us, that live on that estate. And I know there are quite a few residents here that have come along to support this evening. I understand that it's a piece of land and it probably will get built on, you know. Why not have more bungalows built there? There's seen as a need for family housing in Ackworth. Come on, Strata, you know, wake up. If people from Strata that live in we've got a friend, lives in a 4-bedroom family home, said if there were more bungalows in Ackworth, they would quite happily move and release their 4-bedroom home for families, and it could be more appropriate for the area. As I say, I know this is being discussed later. The other thing about this, highways access and internal works, the audit was carried out on a Friday morning between 11 and 12 o'clock. Come on, that's like trying to see how busy the M1 is at 2 o'clock on a Sunday morning. You know, it's absolutely, well, I personally think a waste of money. You know, wasting taxpayers' money having that done. So, I know there's a lot of feeling about it. As I say, I've been round, spoken with many of the neighbours. All the ones that I've spoken to are in agreement as far as I'm aware. I've suggested to people that they come along to this meeting so that you can get some idea of what's going on. I've written to John Trickett. I've sent a copy of my objections to Ackworth Parish Council, to the local councils, to John Trickett. John Trickett has sent me a supportive email back saying that, a bit like the Parish Council, he has a limited input to planning, but he will support my comments and my objections. So that's where we're at.
Can I just add, there's no footpaths neither.
No, there's
no footpaths.
footpath.
The footpaths stop at the junction. So everybody what lives in the estate, when in the little cul-de-sac, you have to walk on the road or ride on the road. Any cars coming down, you have to get tucked in. Any wagons coming down, you've no chance.
And there's just one more thing, that on the introduction to the planning statement, this is I don't fully understand. I mean, I'm not 100% daft, but I don't understand this. It says, the planning statement has been prepared on behalf of Park Road Properties, Property Solutions Limited, to support an outline application for erection of residential dwellings, including the demolition of the existing property, with all matters reserved except access to, but not within the site. Now that makes it sound to me as though it's a planning application for the site and there's no consideration for the access from Roslin Grove. And that's what makes me feel as though this has already been decided. By whom and when, I don't know. But I don't feel that's right.
I'll have my comments later
Okay, thank you.
on in the agenda.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already seen my reply.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Sorry, can I just say something?
Martin,
Martin,
is it on the same point?
well, it's exactly, Martin left something out, I think, about bats as well.
Oh yeah.
We know
Yeah, I mean that's in my comments, which
Okay.
the parish council have got. I understand it's on the agenda later. Yeah, there are bats,
Thank you.
and the ecology report on this says that it's deemed that there are no suitable holes in the trees for roosting bats. Well, I'm sorry, but to carry out an ad hoc inspection from down there looking up, and we're sitting in our garden of an evening, we'll see the bats flying about. You know, it's already bad enough that the land has been cleared. I mean, one person I spoke to this afternoon, not here, but she won't mind me saying, whose property backs on directly to the land, said he cleared all the trees last summer. There were pigeons nesting in there one day, and the next day the trees were gone. She said, how is he allowed to do it? So I simply said, well, it's effectively his garden. I can take a rose bush out of my garden without seeking permission. But it shows to me a disregard for what's going on around. I feel very, very strongly about it, as you can imagine. I'll say no more.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone that's come. We do have an agenda item. Can I get other members of the public in, if that's okay? Sure. I'll come to. Am I okay going to Mr. Lloyd? Is that okay first, or
Whatever.
I'll bring Mr. Lloyd in then.
Right, but not to ask, I came to the meeting the other week and I asked the question about, well, I call them pretend police officers. Now then, has anything been done about that? Because on the Danville Way there, there's motorbikes running up down there, they've been there all week. I've seen no one at all, and nobody has seen anything at all about anybody walking this village. Now then, we pay for that, as I said the other week. We pay for that person to walk this village. Why? Why hasn't it been attended to? Now then, the person that does walk the village, well, from my understanding, what I've been told, she's spending all her time in this village. All the public of Ackworth pay for that to be done. And if she's going to other places, I'd like to make a suggestion that the report here, the clocking, when they do any work in Ackworth, and clock out when they finish, and let's see how much it's costing us, because it's costing a fortune. So please, if they're going into other areas, such as Upton, South Hemswell, I know for a fact they're doing it, South Hemswell, South Kirby. Now then, could that be true, or could you give me any answer?
I personally can't give you an answer because the parish council is not responsible for West Yorkshire Police, and it's their job to patrol the village. And my understanding is it's done on a ward by ward basis, so it would be Ward 1 that's allocated the whole thing, so that's why it includes Upton. But one thing we can do for you is we can pass your details on to the PCSO to contact direct to find out from West Yorkshire Police what's going on in terms of patrolling and specifically for Ackworth. And if we deem that we need more. I mean, I will say that as district councillors, I know my colleagues are doing the same thing, we do push for more and more and more, police officers. and I know that there is a campaign to get more police officers and PCSOs in communities. So would that be okay to pass that on?
Well, obviously, yeah, because the thing is, I mean, as you know, I'm a blind person, and I wrote a letter here to be read out. The person that was going to read it out for me did not turn up. So I wonder if anyone in here would be appreciated if you could read it out for me.
Is it something, Chair, that I can take away?
Can this be taken away by the clerk?
Gemma, can I take it away and look at it, because I can get the PCSO to contact you as well?
Well,
There's a lady on the
thank you.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to give it to you? Sorry? It's your choice, it's up to you.
Access to everyday services. People with disabilities are protected under the law about the use and access of services without being subjected to disability discrimination.
Can't tell what he's saying.
Sorry?
We can't hear what he's saying.
Louder. Since my outburst last month, where I unleashed my frustration at Councillor Roberts for losing the Puffin crossing I had campaigned for, can I please ask how many councillors agree that the zebra crossing on Wakefield Road that Councillor Roberts got in place of a Puffin crossing is not fit for me and other blind people in the area to get across Wakefield Road safely, to access amenities, bus services to get to Wakefield Site Aid, the dentist at the other side of the road, church services, the cricket field. Can I please have a show of councillors' hands who agree with me that the zebra crossing on Wakefield Road is not safe for me and other blind and disabled people to cross Wakefield Road safely, and that it should be a puffing crossing with rotating cones on the underside of the push-button control box, which rotates when the green pedestrian symbol appears, and it is safe to start to cross. Not being able to cross Wakefield Road safely to get to the amenities is having a massive effect on my mental health and well-being. A, what had the Road Safety Committee done since to get the crossing upgraded to be fit for purpose? B, have they challenged WMDC that the zebra crossing is not fit for purpose under the equality laws? If so, when have these letters been sent and how many? If not, are they going to do anything to rectify the zebra crossing to a puffing crossing with WMDC?
Okay, thank you. And I'm just passing the letter to the clerk, is that okay? So, yeah? Just, there's an outstanding action on that, of which is the council agreed, so the Ackworth Parish Council agreed to explore escalation and declare contacts this week.
So Doug H, I've just written Martin a note as it was being read out. I've got an outstanding action already from this council because we did escalate a complaint and the council have instructed me to explore further escalation. What I can do is contact you this week, W. You can come in this week and I can show you and speak to you and tell you what action's been taken to date so far, if that would be helpful. I don't have that information here with me now.
Well, would it be possible? I don't know if anyone's crossed at that crossing, who's on the council, but what I would do, anybody that says it's safe to cross that road, I will meet anyone you want, anybody in here, put a pair of glasses on, that blacked out, same as I can see, and cross that road and see if it's safe.
I can honestly say it's not safe for wheelchairs because when vans are parked outside at shops, which they're perfectly entitled to, I can't see. No. I've only used that crossing twice, and the second time I nearly got knocked over because they can't see me, I can't see them. It looks clear, and you're halfway into the road before they see you and I see them. I find it safer to cross over between the bollards where I can see both ways. And that crossing will put there for a purpose.
Sorry, Chair. I'm happy to also take your details too if
Yeah.
you want me to have that same
Yeah.
conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
I just don't have the information to hand here to go through
Yeah.
that, but I'm happy to do that. Chair, I'm also just conscious of time for the public session if you're looking to extend.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone else waiting to speak.
I think we've got 2 more speakers. I'm going to extend just to include the 2 speakers. If we can be brief, I'd really appreciate it. I'm bringing the public first. So this is their bit. Mr. Downs, I'm sorry. Just again.
I shan't be long. The first point I would like to make is to give a thank you to Gemma for a quick response this last couple of weeks ago now to our request to get it moving. I'm talking now about a crossing down at near the Beverley Arms to release to make it safe for the pedestrians out of Orchard Drive. There's 47 bungalows down there, and 90% of them are of pensionable age, and they've gone up as far as 100 years of age, and it's extremely dangerous to cross. Now, it's been booked also, and you've seen a letter from Councillor, right? Am I right, man?
Yeah.
You've had a letter?
The
district take the letter. So
Yes.
the district councillors have been copied in, but it's gone to Wakefield Council.
It's gone to Wakefield.
Yeah.
Right. What response have you had as our district councillor over 2 years now? Right. Your remarks comes, it's in the hands of Wakefield. Who is it named at Wakefield's hands? Who are you writing to? Or have you written? If you have, could I have a copy, please?
So it goes to, casework is raised and it goes to what's called members' inquiries, because all district councillors are like members of the council,